What is up, YouTube? Today, they just finished revealing all the buffs, I think. Unless I'm filming this right before the live stream is about to happen, so maybe they give us surprise buffs on there, but unless they do that, this should be all. This is, quite a bit, and quite a bit I'm actually pretty fucking bad, so figured I'd go over all of them, ranking, like, how good I think they are, as well as, my thoughts on all the buffs, so, I guess in no particular order, I'll just go from like top to bottom, I guess. The Neo Nectaride chain, it makes it better, but it's still pretty fucking bad. Yeah, the buff here is it lets you before you apply the clone effect, you get to call a card from your hand and then clone it. But I think it's still locked to like grade 1 or lower or something like that. Regardless, the deck itself is bad. This didn't really help it. Artemis got the buff to actually since while we're on the topic of this, the Locks chain also goes here. Locks is still fucking garbage. I don't care how useful this might or might not be. The Locks chain is still fucking trash. For the same reasons. Yes, it helps the chain, but the chain itself is still not good. Artemis, I think, is actually a maybe. Because the Persona Blast isn't locked. The change here is the Persona Blast skill used to be Persona Blast 1 check top 5 to add 1. Now it's add 2, so it's actually a +1 now. I think this card might see some tech splash usage. Probably not, but the buff helps the card, and this card isn't as bad as these cards, so it's okay. What was this card again? Let me just go on the database to check this. I actually don't remember what this buff is. Oh, it's not right. Alright, I remember now. He called his friend. He called his friend. Right? He called his friend. He adds one of his friends from outside of the deck to his hand. It's not called, it's add to hand. I remember that. Yeah. He adds one of his friends from outside of the deck to his hand. His friends being the grade 1 that searches them, the grade 2 that searches them, the Tiger starter. Or Soul Blast 2 on Ride, right? I remember now. It's fine, I guess. Not amazing. Better than not trash, I guess. Guess it goes here. Batarail, the fucking Angel Feather Legion. What? It gives 5k the card it calls now. It's okay, I guess. I'm gonna rename this to okay. Or actually, no, usable. It got 1k power before you weren't using that. Chaos Breaker. This was revealed today. The buff for Chaos is that his Limit Break skill is now Soul Blast 1 instead of Counter Blast 1, which is definitely not bad. It definitely makes the card a lot better, but my issue with this is that you're not playing Chaos regardless of the buff, so yes, the card got better, but you're not playing the card anyways, but I guess the buff is good. I'll put it in 2. It probably is impactful, but the card's actually like good now, or better now. Probably lower end of impactful, but I still don't think this card's going to see any play at all. Crimson Beast Tamer, it's instead of CB3, it's CB2 now. It's actually usable. It is actually usable. Will you play Pale Moon Legion instead of Silverthorns? No, I'm sure someone will try playing with this. I actually think this is a decent buff. It makes the card actually usable, unlike which is actually the card is straight garbage. Now the card is actually playable. What is that? Chrome Jailer, it's 2k to shit that's called. Who fucking cares? Wasn't into trash go. Coco got a, 1k power buff? This card's so bad. This thing, I think it's crit now, right? And has an extra skill? Let's see if it's really. I don't remember this one. Tachi Grade. Is it here? Is it updated yet? I missed it. Oh, it is here. Okay, cool. So, it now gets a crit? I guess it's not. Oh yeah, okay. It's this then. It gets crit, and it's actually missing a skill here. It has Persona Blast, retire one of your rears, and retire one of their rears. This card itself is still not good, but it's playable now. I guess it's in the usables here. Cards. Now usually yeets itself in a soul. Makes it better. The card was already fine for what it was, but going to soul enables easy cross rep base, so it's definitely I'd say it's usable just because it's not. This deck just sucks. Doesn't matter if it's usable or not. Reverse Dayusha lets you lock anything now, so it is splashable into other decks now. I don't think you're going to splash it into other decks, but it is splashable now. It doesn't specifically make you lock, I think with 0 goes? Yeah, so it's okay, I guess. It goes into the usable. Now, actually interesting, Dungaree. Both Dungarees are actually pretty good, or actually just better now. I'm gonna just put both of these in decent first. So, I'll just go over all the buffs here. Alright, so, base Dungaree is now has the added skill of, if your Vanguard is a Dungaree, you can CB1, put this card into your soul to add a card from your bind zone to your hand. So, if you don't know, Dungaree's whole little gimmick thing is binding stuff and then using the stuff your bind as cost and then tutoring stuff from your bind. This enables cross-ride base easily for the unlimited, as well as when you tutor extra stuff from your drop zone, or not drop zone, your bind zone. So, pretty nice buff for the base Dungaree, and then the Dungaree unlimited gets on-place bind. This actually is quite significant for this card, just because previously before the deck had to hard ride the unlimited, you were kind of really screwed in terms of getting shit into your bind zone, because if you don't ride this first, you don't have enough bind to enable the 3 more crit. And the hit skill here only gets you 1 bind, so you were basically doing this for 3 turns until you get the crit. Now you can speed it up by 1 extra turn, and if you re-ride the unlimited afterwards, you can speed that up into just you get on the following. Definitely noticeable buffs for this deck in general. It's not amazing. The deck still isn't going to be good or anything. But it definitely makes it a lot better. It definitely adds quite a bit. And then next up is the Amber Dragon Eclipse. So I do remember this buff. This isn't actually a buff. This is a nerf actually. Eclipse. Can I not spell? There. Alright, so I guess on global it never got a buff or a change, and you just global just straight up got it nerfed, just straight up. So global has this current text, and this current text of CB2, and he gets on hit retire 1. Now it is on hit retire 2 is what it used to be. Little history lesson for people who don't know: this card used to be like tier 0 levels of broken back in set 2 when this card first came out. Like decks literally couldn't exist because this card existed. For CB2, just keep blowing up the board every single turn. This deck was very oppressive back in the day. Obviously now, CB2 retire 2, fucking KekW Omega LOL, Knuckle Buster does that for CB1. Oh yeah, it's cool that it got unnerved. Not gonna see fucking any play at all whatsoever in the trash equipment. Exculpate, tier 0 Exculpate. As much as we love to meme tier 0 Exculpate broken card, this card isn't actually that good, even after the buff. So this card is now everything same, and this card is now you can ride a Blaster Blade from your soul. I'm pretty sure it rides it as rest now. It rides it as stand. And is that the only other buff? I actually don't remember. I rides it as I know rides it as stand, so you get an extra attack. And then there was one more thing about it, wasn't there? I think there was one more thing about it. Regardless, it's the card. Oh yeah, it draws one now. Right. It draws one now. So, it was hot doo-doo garbage before, but you played it because it was like a cooler looking Palamedes. It's still not amazing, but it gets better now. Buffs are still buffs. I guess it's usable. It's as much as we love the meme tier 0 Exculpate, this shit is definitely not tier 0. Before I get to witches, I'm just gonna put the doggies first, just because we're here. They both got plus 1k power, so the grade 2 is 9k base, the grade 3 is now 10k base. Like, it's cool. Again, it doesn't do much. You weren't playing the shit anyways, it's whatever. And then finally, actual relevant buffs. I'm just gonna put all of them because they're all in the same deck. Which is, I think they are the very, very clear winners of this buff, buff pack. Gianna is now reverted back to what her TCG counterpart is, where instead of right now it is CB3 on Legion to check top 10, all 2. Rook 2 tributary points, I can call them. Now it is, if you are in Legion, so you can use this once per turn. You can use this once per turn now. It's also once per turn. Once per turn, if you're in Legion, you CB2 to do that skill. Very, very good. Very, very good now, or at least playable now. Before, the card really struggled because Counterblast was definitely a very big struggle now. But now the CB2s was actually more managed. Definitely the winner of this patch rate is definitely Theon. The Riaz now just got a nice quality of life change more than anything, but still good. Her buff is that if you use your CB2 skill to check out 5 and you to call a grade 3 or call a grade 3 over a card, if you whiff, you unflip 2, you countercharge 2. So basically, if you whiff, you refund the cost. So you can no longer pay 2 counterblast to shuffle their deck. So yeah, and then the Lear, the starter now. Before I don't remember the text of this Lear. So before Vanguard's Legion on hit boost, you can call 2 random cards out of these cards. So these cards are all 3 out of 4 or 5k vanillas. One of them is a essentially on call counter charge. Before it was random, now you get to choose. You can't call 2 of the same card, so you still can't call 2 counter chargers. But now you can guarantee a 1 counter charge and 1 5k vanilla. So very good buff here too. Yeah, these 3 buffs are definitely the best. The Lear buff definitely is better than the Rita's buff, just the next card. Rafa now is what? On hit, retire to anything? Doesn't fucking matter. In the trash. Okage Kongo, I think is the name of this card. The Naval Legion. It now binds a card out of your opponent's hand as well as binding one on board. Better now. It'll be better now. I think this actually goes in decent. It actually makes the card quite a bit better. That also binds one from hand as well. So yeah, definitely a pretty decent card here. Order doesn't matter for you guys. Illuminal now is CB2. You stand all beast deities. Well, I guess. Brutal Jack. This card is actually pretty fucking good now. Not amazing or anything, but it's definitely much better. The skill is now he now has the added skill of front row rearguard circle. This card and the card in the same column as this, so itself and the thing behind it cannot be retired by card. So it is now Garmore for that lane, or it's also I guess it's Tank Riser for that lane as well. So it's nice. It's not resist, but I definitely don't think it's as good as it could be. But anti-retire is okay, I guess. But at the moment, there's a lot of shit that gets over anti-retire. Brawlers punch it. Overlord kills it. The Great just kills it. Link Joker locks your stuff. I feel like forgetting them, whatever. Just a bunch of stuff at that moment that gets rid of it. But if the more the meta goes towards a retire heavy meta, retire is the main way to kill cards off. Jack will just get better. So this card is kind of like Garmore, where depending on the meta, that is how good it will be. Garmore ran the game for like 2 months, so if he can be as high as up here or as low as only usable. So I think I will put up here though, because in metas where retire is super relevant, this card would be really good for the deck. So yeah. Right now in the current meta, it'd probably be something. Garmore isn't seeing any play at all. And when it does see a play, it will be really good. And next up is the Tachi Grade 2. This card is called Quality of Life Change, where it can now sack a card off even when it's not attacking a Vanguard. Nice. It's like an extra of the other Grade 2 that does this. So it's cool. It's usable. It's a nice quality of life change, but it doesn't really change it that bad. This card, I don't remember. If you bounce a card, this card ignores intercept for that turn. Prism still suck in their trash. This costs 1 less counter. This cost is Counterblast 0 now. This deck wasn't Counterblast heavy to begin with in the trash. This thing calls fodder for you. It calls a bunch of random garbage. The best thing being a 10k vanilla. I think it costs Counterblast 2 or some shit. It's not good. Naval Gazer or Anal Gazer, what do you want to call it? I think this card actually got a pretty substantial buff. I think this card is actually really good now, or playable at the very least. I think this card actually goes into decent. If you don't know, this buff now gives 5k to your front row when you do its skill to restand your rear. So your rears actually scale properly now. You actually hit 21 off the side if you have a 9+7 column. So, very good. And since it gives power to the front row, if you do like swapping stuff, you could cheese extra damage like that. But this trigger the steel is still on hit, so that's probably a little less relevant unless I'm remembering this wrong. Yeah, actually a usable card. Actually pretty decent. And next up is the Night Mist. So his buff is actually just 1k power, but because this card was 8k base, this card being 9k base is actually pretty good. I think this is like better than all these other like plus 1k buffs here. I think this actually goes like here, because this card is actually played in its deck. So I think the buff is actually pretty good. I'd be doing it for long here because this card is played in the deck, it's good, and now it just got better because it can now hit intercept unboosted if you don't have enough for definitely a pretty good card. I think this is definitely a pretty very nice, good quality of life. And okay, it heals some shit. In the trash go. Ramiel Reverse. This card also is what now? You can retire anything with this card now, or damage swap with anything now. Give the deck retire. Give the deck a way to push damage at 5 without like having a bunch of Danielles and Sham Seal to do multi attacks at 5. I think it's in the decent tier. I don't think it's nearly as an absolute per se it is. Angel Still kind of fucking sucks. So I think it's a very nice buff for it to have. I don't think it's anywhere near like super amazing, super good either. So it's definitely very good, nice for deck to have, but it's still kind of sucks. So still not the best thing in the world. Also, because you weren't playing the Brink Ride to go with it anyway, in the current decks, it doesn't get the cross ride base, so that is also bad. Before, the reason why the card was so good is because you had cross ride. Well, reason why it was okay, because you had cross ride. I'm gonna go over some of the other bad stuff first. Save Freeze plus 1k garbage, you want it anyways. Damn Steel plus 1k makes it better. It actually does. It actually is pretty good because I actually put this in usable because this card does have the when you take damage, it gets plus 2k power. It puts it 12k before. Since it's 11k base now, when you take the damage, this card is now 13k base. Meaning after the first hit, this card is in cross ride base, which actually can be annoying to hit. So. Actually, this is actually more relevant than this buff is more relevant than you would think for Sham Seal. So this is like a lot better than the other just 1k buffs. Vivian gets power to things she calls. It's better now, but you don't play the card, so it's usable. Not good though. Wingull got unnerfed. So Wingull is now CV 1 Search Any Blaster. At the moment, it's not gonna see any play at all. Later on, I can see this deck being used in like G blasters or some shit. So. I think this definitely goes into the decent category. And that's definitely a very nice thing. The card's actually useful now. I like unintentionally saved Kagura for last, but both these buffs are now whatever. I'll go over Rebirth first. Rebirth's retire skill now no longer requires you to discard an overload, so it's just CB2 pop a rare on hit to rear, I think? I actually don't remember what Rebirth's condition to prop that is. Not spell. Overlord. A lot of Overlord. On hit the rear guard. Cool. So on hit the rear, CV2 pop something. It's okay. It's definitely decent. It makes the card a little bit better. Not amazing or anything, but it's definitely useful. Gaius is a fucking meme. It's not Gaius. Waterfall's a fucking meme. On play or on ride, CP2, switch your deck for Dragonic Gaius. If you don't know what Gaius is, it's this card. And it's not even added outside the deck. You have to play this card for you to search it. So this card is when the unit boosted by its unit attacks with Vanguard, CV2 to give that unit a crit, but you don't get any of the boost power. So this is a CV4 get a crit. Wow, what a great card. In the trash it fucking goes. This was fucking unusable. This buff is terrible. It basically didn't do anything. So yeah, these are the buffs. I'm pretty sure I ran over all of them. They're all definitely okay. For the most part, like I'd say anything in like decent to impactful is like pretty decent, pretty like use pretty okay buffs. You might want to try playing these decks again for fun. Definitely nothing here that would be super competitive. If I had to place my bets on anything, I'd say witches might be actually usable now. You might actually see them being played to some degree now, maybe. Who knows? But everything else, like these are like really good quality of life changes. These are like okay changes, and these are just here who cares? Changes. I mean, I guess you guys can tell me what you guys like. What buffs you're most excited for. Down below in the comments. Like and subscribe. Good stuff. And yeah, I guess that's it. I'll see you guys next time.